Hi, Ms. Jagger. You devote a lot of time and energy to human rights, and how did you get into human rights issues?
I was born in Nicaragua, and through my childhood and my adolescence, I lived through the dictatorship of Anastasio Somoza. So I experienced firsthand what it meant to live under an oppressive and under a dictatorship. And so it has really shaped my life and the way I look at the world. And I left Nicaragua to study political science because I wanted to work either as a politician or to have an organization. And so my experience has really guided me in the kind of work that I do. I have a foundation. My foundation is called the Bianca Jagger Human Rights Foundation. And I do human rights, social justice, and climate change. Throughout the nearly 30 years that I have worked on these issues, I always believed that climate change and the environment was not an isolated issue, that we needed to look at all of this issue from an integrated approach, which means we can't solve the problems of climate change without addressing the issue of social justice and equity. We need to eradicate poverty. We need to understand that climate change is an issue of human rights, is an issue of peace, is an issue of equity, is an issue of migration. So there's so many things that need to come together in order for us to really find solutions. And finally, now after so many years where I had to answer to people who were skeptical and couldn't understand what I was talking about when I talk about this concept of an integrated, an integrated concept, and in a world that was not divided into the global south and the global north, but that was one planet for all of us, that finally everybody seems to be thinking that way, and that we are approaching those issues from that same perspective. So I feel happy that it is easy for me to work now from and sort of try to convey my message.
I saw one of your interviews, you said you cannot really speak about human rights without speaking about sustainable development, and how do you see the relation between the sustainable development and human rights?
Because, and I'm always very worried and concerned when one uses sustainable development. I will use better sustainability, which means we can't talk about human rights without understanding that the concept of sustainability, and without understanding the concept of fairness, and we can continue to like we do in the US or in Europe, to continue to contribute to climate change and to climate change catastrophe without really understanding of the repercussion that this will have in the developing world, and that the obligations that we have, and what is expected for, let's talk about Copenhagen, for example. What is it that the leaders of the G20 or the G8 are going to do for the world? I mean, are they really going to come with the right solutions? Or as some of the Chinese politicians, which I will be mentioning today, were very critical of the position of the United States and of the developing world, and they feel that perhaps they are threatening the possibility for a real Kyoto Protocol that will be effective and that will do the job to avert climate change catastrophe.
Okay, thank you. One more question. What's your current project? Are you working on something specific?
Well, I have quite a few. One is, of course, promoting a Copernican revolution. That means to move from a fossil fuel economy to a renewable energy economy. I'm a great believer that we can move from a fossil fuel economy towards renewable energy, and that does not include using nuclear power. Okay. But there has been a tremendous skepticism from governments and from corporations and from the business world towards really embracing renewable energy. The other issue is, for me, that is important leading up to Copenhagen, is that we need to promote to put an end to deforestation and engage in reforestation. I will be on the 24th of October. There will be the 350 ppm part per minute. There will be a global movement to make people understand throughout the world that we cannot go above 350 ppm. Bill McKibben is the person that is behind this, and I am, the kind of an ambassador for in Great Britain for 350 ppm, and I will be today asking students to get engaged and understand why 350 ppm may be the most important number that we need to remember. Because if we go above 350, as Professor James Hansen says, we will probably reach the tipping point, or the point of no return, and it will be impossible to avoid climate change catastrophe.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.